Virgo, before anything else, before we even step into the energy of this reading, I want to take a breath with you and just say thank you. Thank you to everyone who has been here, who keeps coming back, who leaves those beautiful comments that I genuinely sit with and read. Some of you share things in the comments that are so personal, so raw, so real, and I want you to know that nothing you share goes unnoticed. I carry those words with me. I feel the weight of your journeys and the beauty of your growth, and it is the reason I keep showing up to do this work. To the ones who are brand new here, welcome, sincerely. Whether someone shared this with you or the algorithm brought you here or something quieter and harder to name guided your finger to press play, I am glad you are here. This space is yours too. Now let us come fully into this energy together. Something is about to catch you off guard, Virgo. And I do not mean that in a way that is meant to alarm you. I mean it in the way that life sometimes does something so unexpected, so perfectly timed, so quietly miraculous that your first response is not excitement or relief, but something more like stillness. Something like standing in a sudden shaft of light and needing a moment just to adjust to the warmth of it. That is the energy that is wrapping around you right now. There is a surprise moving toward you, and not the small kind. Not the kind that makes you smile for an afternoon and then fades back into the ordinary rhythm of things. The kind that reorganizes something. The kind that you will mark in your memory as a before and an after. The kind that you will one day describe to someone and say, that was the moment things started to feel different. That was when I understood what all of that waiting had been for. You are approaching that moment. And if some part of you already knew something was coming, if there has been a hum in the background of your days lately, a sense of charged anticipation you could not quite explain, then this reading is confirming what your intuition has already been trying to tell you. Stay with me. I want to start by acknowledging where you have actually been, because I think in our excitement about what is arriving, we sometimes skip over the significance of the ground you have had to cross to get here. You have been in a season that required extraordinary endurance, and I use that word carefully. Endurance, not just patience, which is waiting with grace. Endurance is deeper than that. Endurance is continuing to hold your shape when the pressure around you has been trying to compress you into something smaller. It is waking up on the days when nothing feels certain and choosing to stay steady anyway. It is doing the invisible work, the inner recalibration, the quiet letting go of things that no longer fit who you are becoming, even when no one is watching and no reward is immediately visible. That is what you have been doing, Virgo. And you may not have had a name for it in the middle of it. You may have called it survival. You may have called it just getting through. But from the outside, from the energetic view, what it has looked like is transformation. You have been transforming. And the transformation is not finished. It never fully is. But a significant phase of it is completing. And when a phase of transformation completes, something always marks it. Something always arrives to signal the shift, a sign, a synchronicity, an event, a surprise. Yours is almost here. Let me go deeper into what this surprise feels like energetically, because I think specificity matters here. I think you deserve more than vague reassurances. I want to try to paint this for you as clearly as the energy allows me to see it. What is coming carries the frequency of reversal. And what I mean by that is this. There is something in your life, a situation, a hope, a connection, a door that appeared to be closing or already closed that is about to turn around. Something you may have mentally begun to release, something you perhaps said your quiet goodbye to, even if you did not want to, because holding on to it any longer felt like it was costing you too much peace. That thing, or something connected to it, or something even better moving in from a direction you were not watching, is about to present itself differently than you expected. Life is about to show you that it had more planned than what you could see from where you were standing. And I want to sit with something here for a moment because there is a tender energy in this too. Some of you have been carrying disappointment, real disappointment, the kind that settled into your bones after you let yourself believe in something and it did not come through the way you hoped. And you did the brave thing. You grieved it quietly. You allowed yourself to feel it. You did not let it make you bitter, even when bitterness would have been the easier emotional choice. That emotional maturity, that grace in disappointment, is part of what has opened the door for what is coming. Because the universe does not just respond to our desire, it responds to our readiness. And how you handled the difficult season showed a level of readiness that could not be manufactured or faked. You earned this surprise, Virgo, not in a transactional sense, but in the sense that who you became through the difficulty is exactly who is needed to receive what is approaching. Now, I want to address something that might be sitting in the back of your mind as you listen to this, because I sense it in the collective energy right now around Virgo. There is a voice, maybe quiet, maybe not so quiet, that has been asking you whether it is even safe to hope anymore. Whether letting yourself get excited about possibilities is wise, or whether it is just setting yourself up for another round of disappointment. And I understand that voice. I really do. It is not weakness, it is self-protection. It is the part of you that has been through enough that it wants to cushion the fall before it even knows if there will be a fall. But here's what I want to offer you in response to that voice. Hope is not naivety. Hope is not blindness. Hope is not the absence of discernment. True hope, the kind that has been tempered by real experience, by real loss, by real difficulty, that is one of the most powerful forces available to a human being. It is not wishful thinking. It is an energetic stance. It is a decision to remain in the frequency of possibility rather than collapse into the frequency of limitation. And your hope, specifically, Virgo, has never been frivolous. You are not someone who hopes carelessly. You are someone who hopes carefully, thoughtfully, with full awareness of what you are hoping for and why. And that quality of hope is magnetic. It draws things toward you. So do not let that protective voice convince you to close down right now. Right now, of all times, is the moment to stay open. What is coming needs an open hand to land in. Let me talk about the people around you for a moment, because the energy here is interesting and I think it is worth naming. There's someone, or possibly more than one person, in your orbit who is carrying something they have not yet said to you. A feeling, a decision, a realization they have arrived at about you, about your connection, about what they want. And this person has been in a kind of internal negotiation, working out how to bring this to you, working out the right moment, the right words, the right version of their own courage. That moment is crystallizing for them. And when they bring it to you, it is going to feel like a surprise because you may not have seen the depth of what they were sitting with. You may have read their silence as distance or indifference when actually it was the opposite. It was the gathering of something significant. Pay attention to who shows up in your space in an unexpected way. Pay attention to the conversation that begins ordinarily and then takes a turn you did not anticipate. Pay attention to the quiet moments where something unspoken suddenly finds its words. The surprise is not always a dramatic announcement. Sometimes it arrives in the middle of a normal Tuesday in a sentence that changes the temperature of the room. Be present enough to catch it. There is something else I want to bring into this reading, and it is about your relationship with change itself. Virgo, as a sign, has a complex relationship with change. You are someone who values order, who finds comfort in knowing the structure of things, who tends to do your best work when the environment around you is stable and clear. And that is not a flaw. That is part of your extraordinary capacity for precision, for depth, for quality. But change has been asking a lot of you lately. The kind of change that does not wait for you to be ready. The kind that moves the furniture in the middle of the night and expects you to navigate in the dark. And what I see in your energy right now is that you have actually become more comfortable with uncertainty than you give yourself credit for. You have grown, you have stretched, you have developed a tolerance for the unknown that was not as developed in you a year ago, 2 years ago. You have learned through necessity how to hold yourself steady even when the ground is shifting, and that growth is about to be met with something that feels more like solid ground. The surprise coming is not more disruption. It is not another round of upheaval dressed up as opportunity. What is coming feels genuinely stabilizing in the best possible way, like an arrival rather than another departure, like something landing rather than something else leaving. You have been bracing, Virgo. You can soften now. What is coming is not something to brace against. Does this land for you? Have you been feeling that shift? That sense that maybe the difficult part is genuinely winding down? Let me know in the comments. I read everything, and I love hearing how the energy is moving through your actual life. Let me speak now to the ones who are in a specific kind of limbo right now. Those of you who have been waiting on an answer, a decision that someone else holds, a yes or a no that would allow you to finally move forward in one direction or another, because the uncertainty of that particular kind of waiting is its own very specific exhaustion. The energy is showing movement. Whatever has been suspended in that space of unanswered questions, whatever has been sitting in someone else's hands or in the hands of circumstances outside your control, it is beginning to resolve. The answer is forming. The decision is being made. The clarity that you have been asking for is approaching. And here is what I want you to hold on to as it arrives. You are going to be okay regardless of which direction the answer points. I know that is easy to say and harder to feel, but I mean it in the most grounded, energetically honest way I am capable of. Because what I see around you is not someone whose well-being depends on any single outcome. What I see is someone who has already built enough inner foundation that no single answer from the outside world can take away what you have constructed on the inside. The answer matters. It absolutely does. And I believe it is going to bring you relief. But your wholeness is not contingent on it. That is the real surprise, actually. Not just what is coming from the outside, but who you discover yourself to be as you receive it, how steady you are, how clear, how ready. I want to take a moment to talk about energy and how you have been managing yours, because this is something I keep seeing in the Virgo field right now, and it feels important. You have been giving a lot to situations, to people, to responsibilities, to the work of simply keeping your life moving forward with grace and competence. And you do this naturally because it is in your nature to be thorough, to care deeply, to show up fully for the things and people you are committed to. But there is an invitation right now to also receive, to let things come to you, to let support arrive, to let care be extended in your direction without immediately deflecting it or minimizing it or wondering what it means or whether you deserve it. You deserve it, Virgo. You deserve the good that is moving toward you right now. Not because you have been perfect, no one is, but because you have been genuine. You have been real. You have done the honest work of trying to grow and show up and do right by yourself and others. Let the surprise land. Do not talk yourself out of it before it even arrives. Do not pre-analyze its meaning into smallness. Let it be as big as it is. Let it move you if it moves you. Let it shift things. Let it matter. You are allowed to be touched by good things, Virgo. You are allowed to let something beautiful in without immediately looking for the catch. As we move toward the closing energy of this reading, I want to paint a picture for you of what your energy looks like from a higher perspective, because sometimes we need that bird's eye view to understand the beauty of the ground level experience. From above, what I see is a person who has been on a long road, not a road without beauty. It has had its stunning moments, its quiet mercies, its unexpected kindnesses, but a road that has also asked a great deal. A road with stretches that felt lonely and stretches that felt uncertain and stretches that required you to keep going on nothing but the faint inner sense that the road was leading somewhere worth arriving at. And now I see you approaching a clearing, the trees thinning, the light changing, the quality of the air shifting into something that feels cleaner, more open, more yours. That clearing is where the surprise lives. That clearing is what Sunday's energy is building toward, what this whole period of transition has been building toward. You are not at the beginning of the road anymore. You are not lost in the middle stretch. You are close. You are so much closer than you know to the moment where something arrives and you finally understand what the whole journey was preparing you for. Before I leave you, I want to offer you one final thing to sit with. The biggest surprises in life rarely feel the way we imagined they would. We spend time picturing the dramatic moment, the grand gesture, the obvious sign, and sometimes it is those things. But sometimes the most life-changing moments arrive quietly. They arrive in a feeling that shifts, in a realization that settles, in a conversation where something finally clicks into place, in waking up one morning and noticing that something heavy you had been carrying is simply gone. Pay attention to all of it, the big and the quiet, the obvious and the subtle, because your surprise may announce itself loudly, or it may arrive like a whisper that becomes a knowing, that becomes a certainty, that becomes the new foundation of your next chapter. Either way, you are ready to receive it. Either way, you have done the work that brought you to this threshold. Either way, what is coming is aligned with who you are becoming. And that, Virgo, is something worth staying open for, something worth being here for, something worth every single step of the road that led you to right now. I am rooting for you, genuinely, fully, with everything I have got. And I cannot wait to read your comments telling me how this landed, telling me what shifted, telling me what arrived, because your story deserves to be witnessed. And this community is here to do exactly that. Take good care of yourself. You are standing in a very significant moment. Honor it. Honor yourself inside of it. Until next time, Virgo. The best is not behind you. It is walking toward you right now.